I was 28, 29, and I was editing on various magazines, and I came across an article about authors that were under the age of 30, and I read their advice, and I thought, I'm going to have a go at that myself. So I went home and started writing a novel. I had an idea, and I wrote probably about 30 pages, and then I sent it to some agents, and luckily one of the agents really loved it and told me to go away and write the rest of the book, which I did. And then I was really lucky. She sold it, and I got a book deal, and that was 20 years ago.
Yeah, now 12 novels later, how would you describe your work?
I like to write romantic comedies. I've written a lot of romantic comedies that have kind of a magical twist. And I really like to entertain people. I like to make them laugh. I like to make them cry. And the latest novels that I've written, which is coming out at the end of the year, is more, I think, a lot more relatable and a lot more about real life and about what it's like to be in your 40s and your 80s, because they're the two main characters, and about everything that we deal with in life today. I wanted it to be a little bit more grounded in reality.
Well, I was going to say this new book you're about to release, the title isn't exactly radio friendly. So let's call it Confessions of a 40-something. I think that's fair to say.
That's what it's actually being called in a few territories. That's how it came out in Australia and Canada, I think. I think they did Confessions of a 40-something, yeah.
Now, from the books I have read of yours, Alexandra, they're really witty, they're punchy, they've had me laughing out loud on numerous occasions. So in my opinion, they're the epitome of the perfect summer read. So if you had to recommend just one for someone's next holiday pick, which would it be?
I'm actually reading a really great book called Miss You by Kate Eberlin. She wrote she's written a new one called If Only, but this one was her first book, and I loved it. It was about a couple that they keep missing each other, and it's sort of almost like a sliding doors idea. Mm-hmm. So I really loved the way that the story's woven in with these two characters, and then, I mean, I won't tell you what happens, but I thought that was a really lovely read. And then if you want a thriller, Lisa Jewell's got a new one out, Invisible Girl, so if you want a good psychological thriller.
And what about from your own work? If you could choose just one, I know it's tough.
If I could choose just one, I really liked Love from Paris, which was based on an article that I read about somebody that discovered an apartment in Paris that had been abandoned and left locked up for 70 years. And when they go into the apartment, they find that it's just like something that Sleeping Beauty had left, with, you know, all the clothes laid out on the bed. And I just thought it was an absolutely fascinating story about why somebody would leave an apartment like that. So I wrote a novel set around that, and created a whole story, a background. And I really loved writing that because it was set in modern day and during the war. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was, I think that's quite a good book of mine, Love from Paris.
Lovely. And as you said, Confessions of a 40-something, it is a slightly different style to your usual genre. What's next for you?
I am writing my new book. I'm writing a new book that's going to be, probably out in a couple of years because publishing takes so long. But this one's about, it involves a rescue dog. It involves a village in Yorkshire. It involves lots of really interesting characters. It's another kind of relatable romantic comedy, but I like to, deal with all the issues that we deal with today, but make them palatable, make them funny and heartbreaking. And so I'm currently working on that. I'm about halfway through, but I'm just taking a break and actually coming to Spain for a couple of weeks on holiday. So
you'll be closer to us then?
Yes, definitely.
Lovely. Well, thank you so much for speaking to us this morning, and we look forward to your next release.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on.